Hey everyone, let's talk numbers first, because they are big. So far this year, 7.28 million acres have burned across the country. That's 168% of the normal 10-year average, and we're only in mid-August, with weeks of fire season still left. The country is now at National Preparedness Level 5. That's the highest level there is. Right now, tonight, there are 76 large fires burning across the United States, and one fire stands out as the scariest number of the night. The Mukluke Fire near Tok, Alaska, went from half an acre to 5,500 acres in just 24 hours. It has already destroyed 20 buildings, the governor declared a disaster, and some firefighters working the fire have lost their own homes. At the same time, the Pacific Northwest is also at Preparedness Level 5, with 34 large fires still not under control tonight. And the weather is the reason all of this is happening. We've got dangerous fire weather stretching from Alaska all the way down to Texas, plus a risky weekend coming up in the Northwest. Lots to get through tonight, so let's start in the Southwest and move north. New Mexico. Down in New Mexico, the Frijoles Fire is burning in the Santa Fe National Forest, about 3 miles east of Cañoncito. It has burned 11,335 acres since it started, but the size isn't even the scariest part. It's how the fire is behaving. According to the official incident report, the IMSR, the fire is crowning, doing long-range spotting and making extreme runs through trees and brush. In simple terms, crowning means the fire jumps from the ground up into the treetops and races along really fast. Long-range spotting means wind is carrying burning embers far ahead of the fire, starting brand new fires away from the main one. This fire is only 9% contained, evacuations are in place, and 695 firefighters are working it as of this morning. CAL FIRE Teammate is running the operation, and it's already cost $9.7 million to fight. With more heat coming and no real rain expected in the Southwest, this one isn't close to over. Texas. Now up to Texas, which is in a tough spot too. Severe drought covers the whole state, and the risk of new fires is growing every day. The Crum Fire Department has sent crews to help lead medical support for fire operations statewide. The Weather Prediction Center says dangerous heat will keep sitting over the south-central U.S. this week. Temperatures in the upper 90s to mid-100s, with humidity dropping into the teens. Hot air, dry air, low humidity, and wind. That combination is basically a fire-starting machine. If you're in Texas mowing your lawn, running heavy machinery, or lighting a campfire, please don't right now. One spark on ground this dry can turn into a disaster before help can even arrive. Here's a real example of exactly that danger. The Lake Arrowhead grass fire broke out around 7:40 p.m. on August 18th and pulled in several volunteer fire departments: Jolly, Lake Arrowhead, Henrietta, and Blue. Here's the wild part. While crews worked one side of the fire, the heat was so intense it actually melted a hole through a fire truck's hose. That tells you just how extreme conditions were that evening. In the end, the fire burned about 145 acres before crews stopped it in a cleared field. Teams from Texas A&M Forest Service are still working to build fire breaks and finish containing it. Oregon, Columbia River Gorge. Moving to the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon Tuesday afternoon was wild. Under a red flag warning, Mid-Columbia Fire and Rescue responded to 4 separate fires in under 2 hours. 12:15 p.m., a brush fire near an encampment along the gorge. 1:15 p.m., a car fire that spread into dry roadside brush. 1:24 p.m., another brush fire on forest-protected land. 1:54 p.m., a fast-growing brush fire that threatened 6 homes directly. Firefighters managed to stop that last fire and save all 6 homes. And here's the surprising detail. Early investigation shows it started because someone was mowing their grass to create a fire break, trying to protect their home from fire. Instead, the mowing itself sparked the very fire they were trying to prevent. Under red flag conditions, even mowing dry grass can create enough friction to start a fire. The National Weather Service confirmed wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour in the gorge that day. Those winds get squeezed through the mountain passes like a nozzle, which is why this area is one of the riskiest fire weather zones in the whole Northwest. Washington State. The biggest single fire story in the Northwest right now is the Little Giant Fire in Chelan County, about 30 miles northwest of Leavenworth. It has burned 135,985 acres of the Okanogan-Wenatchee National Forest since starting on July 15th. It's destroyed 26 buildings, and it's cost $62.8 million to fight so far, according to the official report. Even though it's a month old, it just reached 10% containment, and fire officials actually call that a big win, given the size. The fire is still doing flanking, backing, and group torching through the trees. Group torching means a whole cluster of trees catches fire all at once, sending up a huge column of flame. A large incident management team, NW Team 12, is running the operation with 1,977 people assigned. Evacuations are still active across Chelan County. Check your local fire agency or county emergency management page for your zone. A Red Cross shelter has been set up at Eniet Warehouse Community Church, and there's a phone number for information, 509-784-2720. Other Washington fires: 3 Queens Fire near Snoqualmie Pass, 3,636 acres, only 2% contained Slate Fire near Tonasket, 153,843 acres, 44% contained. A relative bright spot, Oregon. More fires. Down in Oregon, the Grasshopper Fire on Mount Hood National Forest is one of the biggest active fires. It's burned 90,667 acres, is 49% contained, and has cost $65.2 million to fight. The Rail Ridge Fire, referred to here as Wright Spring, near Sprague River, has burned 53,941 acres and is now 53% contained. A task force from Washington County just wrapped up 5 days working that fire, clearing brush around properties, putting out spot fires, and supporting a controlled burn to reduce fuel. This weekend, because of expected lightning, they're being moved to Baker City, Oregon, to be ready for new fire starts. Crews getting shifted around at the last minute like this is becoming the normal routine this season. New tech in the sky. Here's something genuinely new and exciting. For the first time ever, the U.S. Wildland Fire Service now has a Type 1 drone, a large unmanned aircraft, in service. It's working under a 90-day contract and recently helped out on the Rail Ridge Fire in Oregon. This drone doesn't drop water or fire retardant. Its whole job is gathering information. It captures infrared images and real-time fire maps, giving fire commanders eyes on the fire they've never had before. Think of it as a flying sensor that watches how a fire behaves in real time. The U.S. Forest Service says clearly this tech is there to support firefighters, not replace them or other aircraft. Alaska, the most urgent fire tonight. The single most explosive fire story tonight is happening in Alaska. The Mukluke Fire near Tok is what fire experts call a catastrophic, fast-growing fire. According to the Alaska Division of Forestry, it started when wind blew a tree into high-voltage power lines. From that one spark, the fire grew from about 20 acres to over 1,000 acres in just a few hours. By Tuesday evening, satellite images estimated it at around 5,500 acres, and it's still growing. People nearby reported hearing propane tanks explode as the fire burned through the community. Level 3 go evacuations, meaning leave immediately, are in effect north of the Alaska Highway. That zone stretches from Mackenzie Trail to East 5th Street, including all of Red Fox Drive in Tok. Right now, almost 200 firefighters, 3 air tankers, 2 water scooping planes, and 5 helicopters are working the fire. The southeast side is the most active tonight, with embers being blown up to half a mile ahead of the fire. Bulldozers are cutting fire breaks through thick spruce forest on the west and northeast sides. The fire has already crossed Red Fox Drive and is now pushing toward the Tanana River. One small piece of good news: an area that burned back in 1990 is acting as a natural fire break, slowing the fire down on its northeastern edge, since the trees there are different and don't burn as easily. As of the latest Alaska Division of Forestry update, the fire is 16% contained, with the town of Tok itself considered secured. If you want more, a recording of Tuesday's community meeting in Tok is posted on the Division of Forestry's YouTube channel. The Alaska Highway is still open, but people must stay out of the evacuation zone. It's genuinely dangerous. And here's the line that worries forecasters most: No meaningful rain is in the forecast for the Tok area. Backbone Fire, Washington. Quickly, north of Packwood, Washington, crews have built a hose line all the way around the 15-acre Backbone Fire. That sounds like good news, but there's still hidden heat in spots too steep and rocky for firefighters to reach on foot. Planes are dropping water, but trees up to 200 feet tall are blocking the water from reaching the ground. Crews are clearing brush around roads near Packwood to create backup fire breaks in case the fire grows. A forest closure is in place. Please stay out of that area for your own safety and so crews can work. What's driving all of this? The weather. Here's the big picture. The National Weather Service, the Weather Prediction Center, and NIF's forecasting team all agree a big dome of high pressure, called a ridge, is sitting over the western U.S., keeping things hot, dry, and fire-prone. This ridge is stretching from the Four Corners area into the interior west. For the inland northwest, NWS Spokane says it'll stay warm and dry through at least Friday, with temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and low 90s Thursday and Friday. Humidity in the Cascade Gap areas and Columbia Basin will drop into the teens during the afternoons. And once humidity drops below 20% along with heat and wind, that's exactly when fires take off. Meanwhile, a cold front is dropping down through the northern plains right now, bringing heavy rain and thunderstorms from the upper Midwest into the lower Missouri Valley. The Storm Prediction Center says there's a slight risk of severe storms from northeast Kansas into Missouri. Behind that front, temperatures up north will cool off a bit, but here's the catch. Those storms bring lightning, and lightning means new fires. In fact, the official fire report from July 17th noted that a single big lightning event sparked 17 new large fires in the Northwest all at once. Down south, the heat keeps building across the southern plains, the south and southeast. Oklahoma has already seen several new fires, and the official fire report counted 73 new fires on the 17th alone in the southern region. Florida also has active large fires. One, called the H1 fire, is already at 4,000 acres. And forecasters say this heat will keep building across the southwest and into the high plains through the end of the week, which is exactly why the Northwest fire situation isn't likely to improve fast. Looking ahead, days 3 to 5, forecasters are watching a weak, dry cold front expected to reach the Pacific Northwest this weekend. NWS Spokane specifically called it a weakened system with gusty winds that will bring a thunder threat and gusty winds, increasing fire concerns. That phrase matters. This isn't a rain event that cools things down. It's mostly wind and lightning, without much moisture. Being fully honest here, forecasters aren't 100% sure yet. The Weather Prediction Center says a slight cooling trend is expected from this system, but they're calling it weak and dry, meaning they're not expecting real rain to come with it. Here's the science in plain terms. That ridge sitting over the region acts like a lid. It blocks clouds, traps heat, and keeps moisture from moving in. NWS Spokane also mentioned some monsoon moisture trying to sneak in from the south during afternoons, which could mean isolated dry thunderstorms, the kind that bring lightning but not enough rain to actually help put fires out. So there are two ways this weekend could go. Option 1, the front arrives as expected, cooler temperatures, moderate wind, and fire behavior calms down a little. That would give crews on the Little Giant, Grasshopper, and Rail Ridge fires a real chance to improve containment. Option 2, the front brings strong, gusty winds over active fire areas before any cooling shows up. Sudden gusty winds over a fire are one of the most dangerous situations firefighters can face. NWS Spokane specifically flagged this risk in their forecast. It's not guesswork, it's straight from their official discussion. For Alaska specifically, the National Forecasting Team says most of the state will get cooler and wetter, except the Tanana Valley, which includes Tok and the Mukluke Fire. No meaningful rain is currently expected there. That's the single most worrying line in the entire national fire weather outlook right now, and the broader August outlook says above normal fire risk will continue through at least September across Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, California, and the Southern Plains. Smoke and air quality. One more important thing, smoke is a real health issue across a huge part of the country right now, NWS Spokane's own page specifically flags wildfire smoke degrading air quality, especially in the Cascade Mountain valleys and eastern slopes. The official place to check air quality is fire.airnow.gov, recommended directly by NWS Spokane and NIFT. Try to avoid heavy outdoor activity during afternoon and evening hours, when smoke tends to be at its worst. If you're older, have kids, or have breathing problems, it's smart to limit time outside. And remember, smoke can travel hundreds of miles, so you don't have to be near a fire to be breathing its smoke. With 7.28 million acres already burned in 2026, this is a nationwide health issue, not just a Western one. Bottom line for tonight: 76 large fires burning, National Preparedness Level 5 confirmed by NIFC as of 8:53 a.m. Mountain Time. The Northwest remains the worst-hit region. 34 uncontained large fires across Oregon and Washington. The Mukluke Fire near Tok, Alaska, is the most urgent situation. Active evacuations, no rain expected. The Frijoles Fire in New Mexico is the most dangerous by behavior. Extreme runs, crowning, only 9% contained. The southern U.S. saw 73 new fires in a single day, with dangerous heat sticking around. Everyone's watching that weekend weather system in the Northwest closely. It could go either way.